sport of tumbling can be closely compared to gymnastics, in terms of the spectacular tucks, backflips, and handsprings which are performed in the air. But a key difference is the lack of equipment. Other than pads on occasion, this aspect is what places fear into the minds of many. A key takeaway many tumblers mention is the huge growth in confidence. Today we had the chance to speak with world-renowned tumbler and coach Ozell Williams Jr. regarding past allegations and how he's been able to bounce back since then. Here we bring you an exclusive one-on-one interview with the coach as he shares his truth.
Ozell Williams.
How you doing?
Pleasure meeting you, brother.
That's Dwayne Meeks. Thanks for taking it out of your time. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
We're here today, man, to talk about your journey, your story, and we're not here to throw stones, but I know there's some things on your heart that you want to share. You want to get off your chest, and we're not here to throw stones. We're not here to point fingers. But we want to be. We want to tell the real story, uncut. Find out why, and the ugly truth. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Let me introduce myself real quick. I'm Dwayne Meeks, Executive Director of Urban Colors Arts and Mentoring, and this story particularly is very important and intriguing to me because you are a tumbler.
Yes, I am.
And you are a African American tumbler.
Yes.
At that, and the first that I've met. So it's an honor and it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
But in 2017, you were accused of stretching out a cheerleader because you're a trainer. You're right.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, right. This is allegedly what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
What you did, and you're going to have a chance to talk about that. But yeah, we want to dive into that. But before we dive into that, I want to know a little bit more about Coach Ozell, Coach O, what the young people, the youth call you, and tell us your backstory, who you are, where you came from, about your family, your history, and how we got to this point. So please share.
Okay. My name is Ozell Williams Jr., Ozell Calvin Williams Jr., born and raised from Chicago, Illinois, on the west side. Loyola Drive, Cook County is my hospital I was raised out of, where I picked up tumbling when I was 3 years old. Like I said before, flipping off my mom's couch into an entertainment system while watching the Power Rangers. It became crazy. Tommy did a flip off the bench and kicked a putty, and then all of a sudden, like, I flipped off my mom's couch, fell into the entertainment system. Two different things, but some of the same gifted and powerful elements, which was getting rid of that fear and being able to do something that everybody wants to do, but may not have had the chance, had the opportunity, or they've tried it and may not have had it, connect correctly. Which that's where over the journeys, tumbling became my go-to. Age 3 years old doing it, mom really couldn't afford putting me through those other sports and stuff like that. On top of the gymnastics, having two other boys, she's raising 3 boys by herself, going through, just life. Drugs, violence, gangs, the whole 9 yards, like understanding what it is to walk. Chicago, and there's amazing parts of Chicago. There's also, dangerous parts at the same time, and anywhere in the world. But to go through a lot of the stuff, I was bullied to and from school. I had a bully on the bus. I had a bully in the playground. Like, I was always, and I was small, so I'm only 5'5". I'm going through testaments that I don't know are testaments. That I don't know is testing not only my empowerment, but my courage, my, discipline, like who I'm actually, growing up to become. And just like these movies and shows that we see and everything else, like all this stuff, video games, everything, like it's real life. it just turned into a video game. It just turned into a show. It just turned into a movie. Like, we live these things.
You're sort of a little giant in a big arena, you know, without having a blueprint, or really a guide, because there's no African American men that I know of who are utilizing this platform to empower young people, to teach, to educate, and you know, where did that come from? It was
during a time of being bullied too, about why I wanted to, you know, tumble and be a cheerleader and stuff like that. At that point in time, I mean, it's the old school days, so like they already automatically assume the worst when you're a black male in a sport around, you know, amazing, talented, you know, women or girls to start. To whereas it's totally the opposite. It's very welcoming. It's for, you know, all genres, all genders, all, you know, ages, to whereas it built something different inside of me, to whereas, yeah, I played football, basketball, track, cross country, state champ for wrestling. I did soccer at the age 5, tennis, golf. I've like tried to make sure, water sports, I tried to make sure I dabbled in everything along my journey. But tumbling was one of the ones that made me stand out different from all the others. There's a lot of people trying to do football, basketball, soccer, track, like all these, you know, major sports, but tumbling, it was like this unspoken, heard of word that one is hidden behind gymnastics, cheerleading, acro, tricking out now. Tricking's bigger than tumbling, and tumbling has been here for a long time, decades. But there's no platform for that. You know how many black males are actually out there tumbling that are on my level or better now? Oh, this generation now. What? These people are throwing quads and triple backs, and I'm talking about on spring. I love it because the evolution period of the tumbling and how people evolved and it got better. I'm doing this, so I started to see that the people that paved the way didn't get their flowers. The people that are there now still don't get their flowers and everything else. So how can we create something that everybody can actually benefit from? Something that's already there. We got to do it together. We have to put that platform on.
And you have the opportunity to do that, do just that. Yeah. What opportunities are there for youth that aspire and want to make a living out of doing this? You know, you said football, basketball. Okay, that's a pathway. You know, what is the pathway for tumbling, and where can that take you?
I mean, tumbler's similar. Now they also have the NIL. I mean, I know you heard of it, the, you know, name, image, the likeness, and all that now. To whereas if we had that back then, do you know what we would be right now? But like we said before, God takes us on our own journeys, and He's always on time. So the time, there you go, the timing is now, to whereas the kids can benefit major off this. Our kids right now, like for our program, they have their own logos and everything right now. We just started it about 2 months ago. They have their logos and stuff. It's been something planned since last year, but they have their own logos. They just met with their own attorney. We have one. We're going to get more so that they can actually, you know, navigate and work with our parents and our athletes. Our parents are becoming their managers along with our company, to whereas they benefit. They're getting back because they're putting their money in, but what are they getting back for? Like, my mom wasn't able to afford it, but my skills was able to show those owners of the gyms and of facilities and of institutes that, I can't afford it, but you pay for it for me, you're not gonna lose your investment. That's what they did. And if they doing that for little old me, what do you think we can do for the kids? It's multiple. I'm one little person, which is why, you know, 2017 was upsetting, because like, this is for all of us. It's not just for myself. Like, I'm a testament to it because I am going through it and I'm trying to navigate the best way I can, not having a dad around. My mom, you know, my mom, like, she's doing the best she can, but I also, as a young black male, wanted to be the oldest and want to also feel my dad not being around, or a male being around for my mom the right way, I'm out here trying to get it, just like football, basketball, track, and all them, to actually get there to support my family. But life happens in between that time that also not only knocks us down, but builds us up stronger as well too. And that's what's been happening.
So I feel your heart and your compassion, and it's coming through evidently that you love what you're doing. And then 2017 happened. So you're fired up, you're excited. You get a job with East High School to train cheerleaders.
Yeah, that's just
as a coach.
Yeah.
And your whole world comes crashing down because of some allegations that were made by some people that I guess didn't like your training methods. But your training methods are used universally in tumbling and stretching by other coaches all around the world. Why do you think this happened?
So yeah, this is right after I graduated from University of Colorado in Boulder. So I actually went through the whole process of actually going through being vetted and talking to alumni and talking to the cheerleader captains on the team and stuff like that and everything. To whereas I was certified by CHASA, went through all the certifications, CPR certified, AED certified, first aid, as well as obviously, CHASA certified, where you go to, all the conferences and, meet with everybody and meet with, just all of that. And then on top of concussion certified, and also have my own certifications and insurances and stuff to make sure that anything that happens, my kids are taken care of. I also have other coaches and stuff around to make sure that if any point I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, they can make sure it's done right. Because you got to understand, as a head coach, we have a lot going on. Sometimes we don't know how to say, yo, we feel like we're being taken advantage of, or hey, yo, I feel like you're not, really, you're not really working with me. Like we got to go through many attitudes. We got to go through the parents. We just got to go through so much that as a coach, I actually love, because I'm up front. I'm here like, yo, I need this. And if you don't help me with this, then this is the way I'm going to react. And it's going to be the most professional way possible. But then that means that we have to sit down with then the AD, the principal, all that stuff like that, to make sure that because I need what I need. And so does my team, so that we make sure we're giving the girls what they want and what they need. It was all about my kids program. That's why, I said, talk to my kids. Don't talk to me. Because if I'm being allegedly accused of something, then I want you to hear from the sources. Because you come to me, obviously, all day long, like, men are doing some crazy stuff here and there. Women, just the world's crazy. So at the same time, how do I, as a man, be able to still stay in my shell, not go crazy, and be all out of the ordinary, that's not me, and still put my best foot forward and show that I have protection from the community? Talk to my kids. The video ended up surfacing in August, I think 25th, August 25th of 2017.
And the incident happened
June.
And the video
8th.
showed up in August.
Yep.
2 months later.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes. And it was crazy because I get how social media gonna act. I get it. I understand it. I said not to put it on there. Yeah. I even told my AD and everybody. Everything was clear, approved. I do my work, especially because I don't like paperwork. So let me hurry get this done so we can go from there. Plus, my team stays on top of everything that needs to be done because I may miss something. So therefore, cool. Video surface. Yeah, I don't know. They actually had an attorney that this is what they do, is they take certain situation and they can actually spin it on the net and everything else. Okay.
I asked you about the lawsuits.
It's part of I guess it's part of loopholes, I guess, and stuff like that. Right. I'm thinking I got protection. I'm thinking, okay, bet the school gonna help me out, yada yada yada. Especially because we already had this. They already had to take it to everybody. They already did what needed to be done. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was wrong about all that. I got a call coming to school. Okay, bet. coming to school, I have no representation, I have none of this. And a lot of people outside are asking me this after I've already done it. So like right now, I've already been in this field and I have not been protected and I look stupid because the system ain't protecting me. No way, no how. They're protecting themselves right now. They in CYA while I'm in what's going on phase. Like I'm like, I thought this was already handled. I had my coaches in there. We talked about it. Like we did this already. Yeah. Our coaches was already in the room with the principals and everybody else, the ADs, etc. Make sure this all was good. But I also started to think, I've been on YouTube and everything else for a minute, and I see all these white coaches and everything else pushing people in the splits, standing on top, they on chairs, over splits. That's everything. I see all this. Okay. And I'm like, that is over the top. I'm like, yo, whoa. But yet and still, I'm put out for this? And do you know how long I've been actually coaching and being the best, male version of me that I can be, especially in a cheer and tumbling realm and everything else, to whereas you see what happened with gymnastics, you see what's going on with cheerleading, X, Y, and Z, like none of that. Yeah. Like fighting, just everything, being a male in that sport.
Right around the time when all that was happening with the Olympics.
With the
gymnasts
so they decided, when this whole thing went out, they decided to take that further and try to charge me 4 different charges. Include one of them being a rape kit. That I'm like,
wow. Really?
I'm being told this behind the scenes and everything else. And I'm like, yo, what are you, a civil, a criminal, whatever you want to call that? And then I guess, I'm something with child services or something like that. I think that's what that was and stuff. Yeah. Because she had bruises and stuff on the inside of her thigh and stuff. I'm like, I just did a split. What are you doing? Like, and this is what I'm being told for multiple different levels. And you got to understand, I'm thinking I'm going to deal directly with the school and them and stuff. I'm being called by, I didn't get no attorney calls except for one that the school, not even school, nope. Let me take that back. Mariah, which is one of my coaches, her dad and the other families put money together to actually help me get a criminal attorney. I think that was. She was a criminal. To help me get out of this stuff, see what was going on and stuff like that.
You never did any jail time.
No.
You never was arrested.
No, was not arrested. No handcuffs on and stuff. Because if I did, good thing they got the attorney for me. If not, it would have been different. Because the attorney called them and no handcuffs, nothing like that. We'll actually come down to the station, and I had to get fingerprinted, do that whole 9 yards. I had to go in the room, talk to people. I had to do the whole shebang. Like, understand this. If I would have done this already, they would have already had me locked up. This is when I went months and everything. They still trying to figure out what was going on. Like, instead of talking to the parents and the students. Period.
Did anyone ever talk to the actual student?
No, not that I know of. No, because I believe they had her go to, I don't know. Listen, I don't know. Don't quote me on some of this stuff because, don't quote me on this stuff because I don't know. I had to stay away from everybody. Okay. Like people they had to call me so that if they check my records and everything else, it wasn't me calling out. Gotcha. And trying, because I don't know what's going on. But at this point in time, I already want to go against everything. I already want to go crazy. I want to do everything that we would do in this situation, which is raise all ATL in May, like literally maybe a week, 2 weeks before the actual camp, which was June, around like the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th weekend, something like that. To whereas I prepared the girls for, obviously it's in every sport, cheerleading, gymnastics, dance, martial arts, everything. Whereas the split stretch is different. it's a different ball game, because you are essentially breaking your muscles and then building it back up. It's like when you rip your hamstring, then you got to ice, you got to do a lot of, rice method, which is, rest, ice, compression, elevate, things of that nature, to whereas you building it back up. And that's in any parts of our muscles and everything. With that, the split stretches, same exact thing, except the elements of your socks and the carpet, and then also you actually being aligned in the right position with your chest on top, which also creates that gravity aspect of things. The split stretch becomes something else, to whereas it's a little painful in that process. And I showed this to all of the parents, to all of the kids, everybody. Made them do their research, made them go online, I made them check everything out. I was taught this through gymnastics. I was taught this through cheerleading, through all these sports. This is what I was taught. And I also enhanced it a little bit with making sure my parents understood more of what's going on and stuff. Because normally gyms and everything, they close, practices and everything off so that it's just them and the coaches and everything, which that's totally fine. But
so parents were clear.
Yeah, parents understood. Yeah, especially because I'm a black male coach. Okay. You don't see a lot of us in this field. So I want you to understand really what I'm doing and what's going on. I even took it further to whereas I introduced them to who are going to be helping me hold the girls on the side and stuff, on top of having them understand that I will have other coaches in the presence when this stretch is going on, as well as they will be recording for their bonding and beneficial purposes of, look at my split now, look where it was beforehand. The whole black and white era, like, oh, this is crazy. Like, look what I could do now versus what I could do before. It was just that. So they knew that they was going to video. They knew that they was going through these split stretches, the whole 9 yards. And I even did it in front of them. And then had one of my other students do it along with my students, set up on the side to where they are. The reason why my students are set up on the side and stuff is so that one, the ladies or gentlemen that are doing the split stretches don't rock right or left, because if they do that, they're gonna tweak their hips or something to that nature. That I'm not a full doctor, but I know that something will, either pop out or become unhinged or something to that nature that we don't want. And then the forward and backwards part is one, so that the legs are aligned where they need to be. The knees need to be facing. The back need to be facing down on the ground. The front need to be facing to the ceiling, so that one, their hips are in the right line and they're not, looking like a jigsaw puzzle or contortionist at the point in time and they don't even know what they're doing. By doing that, that allows for a safe word, which is stop. Simple. Stop. It's one stop though, not 12,000. One. That way we know you're not getting all crazy and just saying stop because it hurts and it's just painful, and you just need us to be there to say, breathe a little bit, we're going through this together, X, Y, and Z. So one stop, we're coming out.
Okay. All that was explained.
Everything, multiple times. Should have had it on video, but I didn't video. But with that being done, the sock versus carpet friction comes into play by itself. Once you put your foot down and you stand up and your back leg is down and you start sliding into that split, that they don't care about. They don't care. It's you contracting your muscles in order for you to stop in the place you need to. But once you say stop, the person in front of them puts their hand on their foot, in front of their foot, stopping them from moving. And the person on the back also does the same thing to make sure they're just held in that spot. And me, as the head coach, I'm underneath the armpits, pulling up a little bit, making sure that their chest and they're open in the proper posture, so that they actually can breathe and open up the airways, X, Y, and Z. It's a lot within the split that goes with it, which they definitely need to do more, background work. That's all in the video. Yeah, that's all in the video. But you're not gonna know that if I just throw a video out, a black guy on top of a white girl, it looks like, or you say it looks like I'm pushing her down, when No, that's not the case at all. But you have a white girl screaming nonstop in the video, so therefore, yeah, they're not gonna look past that part right there.
Okay.
And then the second part is black, white. Oh, he's misusing his misusing his authority and his power and stuff like that. When that's not the case at all. Okay. We're a whole cheer team. It was optional in the first place, and this was told to all parents and everything, even to the point where I'm like, hey, I don't care if I have seniors and juniors on the team that want to be great. By tomorrow, you will not belittle anybody that does not want to do this split stretch or anything that we're doing that potentially, yes, can better you, but right now they have fear and a few other things that's going into play. They don't know what this is like. So they're going to need to see people go through it. So if you don't want to do this, then that is okay. You will not be scolded for it. You will not be, talked about, anything to that nature. And I already nipped that stuff in the bud. With that, I was having some issues with parents, a few parents already, that did not like where their daughters may have been at that point in time, which we have this in every school, every cheer program, wherever. It doesn't make a difference. Every sporting program, you have parents that want to come in and use either their credibility, use their so-called money, or use their so-called power position, wherever they at and stuff, to actually get what they want. In this point in time, none of those things work. So what's the next thing you're gonna do to somebody that you want out that's not abiding by what you, but basically by your agenda? You're going to basically try to cast that person out. But who's gonna listen to a black guy, a young black guy at that, that's being scrutinized for something that he didn't do, but at the same time, you got people in power that's not protecting me. Now I see why we're not in the system in the first place, because you don't protect us. Because if that was the case, one, you would have known that we've already talked to the parents about this. There was a black mom and a white mom basically teaming up that did not like the position and used the powers that be to play the part. It was great. I told them, don't put this on social media or in public without the proper context, or else it's gonna be taken out of proportion. Okay. I stuck my own foot in my mouth by giving the people that did not like me another out to actually out me. Except I didn't think that my so-called community and so-called people would actually not protect me on the end that I did everything correctly. If the girl was hurt, she was supposed to report it to me that day. Did not happen. They left already. Everybody was good. My kids rolled each other out, made sure everything was good. I even had coaches there. Not gonna say nobody's name because, again, I protect everybody. Protect my people when they don't even protect me. It is great. They were good, rolling everything out, making sure their hip flexors was great, making sure their hand moves was okay, making sure their toes can still wiggle, making sure they were doing their part. By doing all that, stretching and everything else, we put our hands in, 1, 2, 3, we get to go. Wednesday come around. She did not show up to practice because they wanted to go to Elijah's. This is what I'm told. They want to go to Elijah's. Okay, perfect. She came back to practice that Thursday. This is supposed to happen on Tuesday. No. Wednesday comes around. She's not at practice. She's at Elijah's. Thursday come around. She come to practice. Now understand this. If you just got through doing a split stretch on both ends and everything else, here's the thing. You have to stretch the next day, the night before, when you wake up, etc. If not, then you're going to end up tweaking or pulling something or something that day. You have to stretch multiple days. And if you don't stretch, then it tightens up again versus what you just did. So now you got to go through that process again. And then if you go be active after you did not stretch and you are already tight, football players, basketball players, people, that's common sense. Like, come on now. So if that's the case, wake up, call me, let me know. I have everybody's number. I'm at the high school more than I'm at home because I love these kids. And this is the last thing I gotta prove to myself that I am that coach. I know what I'm doing. Like, I paid attention to what I just won rings and medals and everything else for that don't mean nothing at the end of the day. And I didn't know how big East was until I got to East. There's a lot of alumni at East, etc., That's like me going back to my New Orleans team in Gretna Junior High and West Jeff. Those middle school and high school that are big out there against John Ehret and a bunch of other. Okay, so I'm at East High School not knowing this. I'm starting to find out though, because I'm starting to get a lot of alumni reach out to me, Tarita Berry. Like there's a lot of people that I don't even politic like that, but now I have to. So now I'm learning how the political politicking way inside the high school on top of having to navigate these parents. It's true when they talk about the parents being the helicopter, because literally I didn't know this was going on, but I started to put two to two together, especially when they start coming to my meetings and grouping up and trying to stir pots where pots don't need to be stirred. So how do I actually get past that? I told my AD and my principal and everything how I'm going to move with things. If parents have an issue and kids have an issue, how do you get rid of those issues? Open up the entire circle so that everybody understands the issues and understand how we're moving.
Right.
So being super transparent, those parents did not like that. So they could not move behind the scenes no more. Everything's out in the open. So now with me being out in the open, you got to learn how to take what I'm open on and also use it against me. Two of my main focal points and main fears in life is one, not being successful, and two, you taking what I love and using it against me. You did that. You took the kids and you tried to use them against me. But luckily I record things, X, Y, and Z. Good thing I did, or else I would be in jail.
Absolutely.
Like I'm black. They want to put me away. Like,
were there any lawsuits?
They did. Oh, I'm gonna get there.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
So with that, I have several incidents that each parent brought to me that I also came through with evidence and actually beat that hurdle, hurdle over that obstacle, whereas the AD, the principal, they knew all about it. They actually helped put out those so-called fires because there was no fires to put out. It was just, they wanted me to do what they wanted to do, but what I was doing was working, and they don't know that that's what the kids wanted. So I come in, open up the tables, get the kids what they wanted and stuff. Parents don't kind of like it. So I got dad showing up, muscle shirts, like at school, like with the kids, like not knowing what's going on. I walk in at 6 something in the morning to, another big guy, like big black. I'm like, okay, bet. I mean, listen, I'm not hard. I'm very disciplined and I'm protected by the Lord and stuff, but nothing gonna scare me to do anything out of the ordinary what my kids want. Like, so
it had to be uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable. Like plus I'm small. I got some Neapolitan, syndrome issues. You know what I mean? Where like, just don't look down on me. Don't be talking to me down crazy. Don't be yelling at me either. Like let's talk this out.
Right.
But also I'm learning on my end how to navigate myself. I'm not perfect. But at the same time, if I'm trying to learn the ways of how to discipline and take in what other people are saying and criticism, and also being vulnerable and tell you when I'm wrong and accepting it and stuff, and actually helping you get over that little miscommunication issue that we may have, or that misunderstanding, then why aren't you able to do the same thing? Because if then that's when my anger flares up a little bit, and I'm like, yo, I've tried this multiple times with you, and you're still not getting what I'm asking, what we're asking of each other, etc. This is why I bring in the athletic director and the principals and everything else, because now you're not hearing me. And we did that every single situation. I had to step away from my girls every single situation, when they also only gave me a month and a half to get these girls ready before August. So I'm doing all this while trying to do that. People don't see the back end stuff. They don't even hear it.
Well, the media loves a good story too.
Yeah, man.
Media doesn't have to have facts. It's a story.
Yeah, I get that now. I get that a lot, especially
create buzz, and that's what the media is there for.
Yeah. So all that stuff happened, and this was happening the entire month of June. So this whole thing happened in the month of June. That split stretch it was nothing. Like, that got done that week. Like, literally the principal called me in, was it Friday or Monday? One of the two. It was that week, that same week, we got it done. The mom was okay, everybody was good. They understood that everything was great. One of the real problems was that they also didn't have the money to pay for their uniforms at that point in time. So that's another reason why they had to meet. So And I was like, okay, well, majority of my girls got their money in and stuff like that. I mean, I guess we have a few extra in the account, like where, I mean, I guess they could take care of your uniform, but you still have to pay that and get it done and stuff like that. That was moving from there. They didn't like that I beat every obstacle that they tried to throw at me to get me to change my mind about doing some things. One of the girls didn't want to do the cheers, but she wanted to be in front. It's like, yo, you cannot be in the front if you're not gonna do cheers. And she was a senior at that. So it was like, yo, okay, I'm see y'all used to having things your way, like, but let's meet halfway. This is why I learned a lot, like, especially, you know, dealing with ladies and having to appease to everything they got going on. Like, I adapted. And I think I did a dang on good job.
How did you adapt? I mean, emotionally, how did you keep it together with being?
One, I had two other.
You felt like you were attacked?
No.
Stereotype?
I'm not, listen, I'm sorry I gotta talk this way, but I'm a young black male in America.
Absolutely.
That's what we get all day long.
All day.
No matter where we at. And I don't harp on it. I just understand that
you have to manage
I understand that
emotions.
You expect me to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when I prevail, because then it's like, I know what you already think, but I'm gonna show you differently. And then you're gonna love me after that, because you should have loved me in the first place. Look how I got the job. I had to beat several other coaches, amazing coaches out for this job. And listen.
This is your livelihood.
Listen, I don't want to say it again, but I'm black in America. I'm starting to understand what that means even more. I'm still learning. But we're not able to learn as much as we want to, because people judge so fast, so quickly. So, okay, use me as a martyr. You put this out everywhere for no apparent. Why even get to this level? My name is Ozell Williams Jr. Yes, I made strides. I made accolades. I'm not famous. Don't do that. Don't do that. Listen.
Globally recognized.
Listen. I'm well known.
You are well known in your community. The Denver Nuggets. You are.
Can you stop reading those out? Listen.
Man, your list goes on and on.
I appreciate that.
Why do you think this happened at this time? Because you're a busy man.
One, because everybody wasn't on the same page. Period. That's done. I guess it was political time. I don't know what was going on. They had a political agenda. Stuff was going on. I don't know. But it was not to protect the girls, nor protect me, nor figure out what was actually going on with this case. It was about something else that, I don't know, the powers that be know. They know what's going on. Like, especially if you want to spend $100,000 and everything to beat little old me, and I ain't even doing anything. I just want you to tell the truth. I ain't even trying to sue you, or wasn't, etc. X, Y, and Z. Like, and I wasn't. They took everything away from me to be able to defend myself. So people can judge me all they want to. I'm past that. I listen. They also took my mom away from me at that time. Like, my mom, she was ready to come out. She just seen me graduate. She just heard I beat out people for, like, especially when they announced it to Colorado, and I didn't even know they do that. So now I'm at the Broncos, the Nuggets, CU. I'm doing all these things. America's Got, I'm doing everything. And then on top of that, you announce that I'm a head coach and stuff, and I got people calling left and right. I got shoes to fill. I'm ready. But are you ready? Because I'm not no puppeteer. I'm not one that's going to come in and be stressed out by my job that I know needs to be done. I need you to step to the side and not be stressed out of how I do my job. Because I'm going to be transparent upfront about everything. Can you handle all of that, though? It showed the parents could not. Especially when I have the powers that be behind me, loving what's going on, and I'm creating different results that's making these girls show up on time, actually passing out from actually working out without eating and stuff, which we handle all that. Like, I made sure I brought a tub of food, Gatorade, water, everything else. Like, I see how much these girls want it. Okay, then let's get this. Let's get this. They giving me hope. What do you mean? Yeah, they getting hope, but they giving me hope. I got the video. I got all the videos of them doing. We got 2-mans. These girls never did 2-mans before. They didn't know what that was. You got strong girls that don't even know their strength. I'm helping them understand it, while on top of me also understanding what more power I have and how I can actually use it to better them. I want them to talk about me as much as everybody want me to talk about me. I'm not about to do that. I'm not that person. I'll let my girls, I'll let them handle it. Listen, you'll understand by unspeakable bond how we interact and everything else. How I give my girls and my guys like the powers to lead. But we have a template on how things are led. And if you step outside of that template, then you have to sit down and respect and understand responsibility, take it and understand how we can meet together. So because I did that, the parents didn't like that. But we worked together to make sure that we can get an understanding on how we want them to be jailed all the way around. So, okay, back. They didn't like the fact that the principal and AD, everything was done. They's like, everything, no, Ozell's right by doing this. No, Mr. Williams is good by doing it. No, we gave him permission. This is where it's at. We know what's going on. There's no harm done. Even the athletic director knew everything. So if anything was wrong, she comes downstairs, she helps handle the stuff that needs to be handled. If not, then yeah, that's my job. I get in trouble for it. But no, everybody knew everything. I stay with them. One of my coaches go upstairs, gets the athletic director, comes down. One of my kids go get him. Done. They didn't like all that. Whole month of July, silent. Kids having fun, everything's going well. Some of my girls, I've already weeded out those that did not want to be there. So I'm from 25 down to maybe 21, 20, 22 maybe. That's totally fine. That's our job as coaches, is to weed out those that's not able to handle what we're putting forward.
I just recently saw, and I was wondering why, who was interviewed, who was asked these questions, and why were certain people left out and not interviewed? Because I've seen some recent footage of some of the cheerleaders that were interviewed who had a totally different take and full support of you about what allegedly happened.
Man, I don't know. Ask people with the money, because I don't control social media. I don't control.
Why wasn't those?
Hey, listen.
Shown. Why wasn't those?
I was too busy getting rid of newsletters and people driving past my apartment and threatening me and everything else to know any of that. Like, I asked the same thing. I thought it was gonna be over within a day or two. Like, okay, all they gotta do is talk to the people. All they gotta do is ask the right questions and get what they need to get. Yeah, no. Like I said, there was another hidden agenda that's out of the norm. And then the people that did have my back, I really appreciate them. I really do. Like they stood the grounds with me, especially the Denver Nuggets. Like I lost all my jobs except the Denver Nuggets. The whole entire, since that thing went on, they reached out to me. Oh, we know your character. We know who you are. They read between the lines, even though they still had to do their due diligence and reach out to Cronky and everybody. They put their reputation out to support, and that's, I don't want to get emotional, but that
says a lot. That says a lot. Yeah, man, I definitely feel your heart, man.
Yep.
One thing that really sticks out about me, that in all the conversations that we've had and getting to know you, that you never said anything about money, about profiting off this. It's always been about the youth. You've never said one thing. We never talked about money. I've always asked, how do you do this? You know, how can people support you? You know, where do you get funding from? Do you need a facility? What are you asking for? And you don't ask. You're so humble. You don't ask for anything, but you have everything that you need to do what you need to do. You know, so I have to commend you for that, brother, for staying the course and doing your due diligence for the community, for the young people. And you know, sometimes that's part of the test. You know, there's a message in all the mess that, you know, is your story. You know, and you know, there's always two sides to every story, and then there's the truth. So You coming forward and wanting to even talk about this, as I see how how emotional you are right now, but I know it was difficult for you to really unpack this, on this type of platform and share, because it's 2017. This is 2023 now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
To have that on your heart, for 6 years, and not being able to tell your side of the story, is, I commend you for having the courage.
Appreciate it.
To showing up, man.
Appreciate it.
What do you want people to know?
Well, want to answer your question on the money aspect of stuff. When you love what you're doing and stuff like that, like there's a lot of testaments out there and stuff like that, but God takes care of the money situation as well. He takes care of the resources. Resources are a lot, in my eyes, a lot more important and potent than money. Money's everything. Money's not everything, but it is what helps the bills get paid, helps get equipment, things of that nature and stuff. But one of the things is that I don't come from nothing, and also don't like disappointment, and seeing my mom always ask, not always ask, but try to ask our past dads for things, or try to ask family members for things like that and such. And always, sometimes here and there, we see the disappointment parts. I've always grew up to whereas I don't want any of my team, even my kids, to be disappointed in any form or fashion, which is why I go so hard. I don't know how to ask sometimes. Like I don't ask, because again, that comes with expectations, and also disappointment sometimes.
Humility.
And that, as well as it's something that as a man, especially not having the kids and still, working on building my own family and stuff, I want to know that I can be there and be, not just that breadwinner, but that bread, significant other, to whereas I can help my, wife and future kids and everything else, future wife and future kids and everything else, build their own and also have their own, money and stuff, to whereas, yeah, I'm there, safety net, I'm there to, pay whatever, dues I need to pay and stuff like that. But I don't want to go into a relationship like I have a broken family and stuff. And having a broken family, like that's, what that is within itself. And so I'm fighting all of that on top of wanting to be the best version of myself that I can be, not only for me, but for my community. Because it takes a community and it takes a village to raise your kids and stuff. And when my kids and everything come out and I have my wife and stuff, I want them empowered just as much as I empower my athletes and my families and stuff that I come across that become part of our program, or that is still, deeper in our program, and that works on alongside of our program and stuff. Because we just come from an era to whereas there's a lot of take, and some give, some don't. I want to be a different, valuable man and husband and stuff like that. To whereas
you are a
I'm
healthy
giving.
male.
Appreciate it.
In the community. That's important for our young people to have healthy African American men who are leaders and mentors and are lovable and capable of guiding and leading, from the heart. So yeah. You bring all those qualities to the table, brother.
I appreciate it. I started to travel and set up camps more and do a lot, to whereas I see that I can do it myself too, versus, asking a lot, where then when you're asking from people for certain things and stuff like that, I didn't know race comes into play, agendas, where you're from, what you're gonna do for them. Okay, I know it's about the kids, but how my pocket's gonna get padded, just everything. And then I just don't. I have a lot going on already, where I have a problem with BS and a lot of people that want to tug your chain but not really follow through and stuff, I have those makes my anger come up where I'm like, yo, just let me do it myself. That way I can deal with whatever hard work, losing sleep, being by myself, whatever that is, whatever that may cause. But I want to be here differently for the kids and for the community than, they may be here for me. Moving forward, people can get to us. We have stuff set up now to whereas, yes, everything's going to our company and stuff like that. I'm always going to be taken care of, regardless.
You have an amazing support team.
Yeah, it took a while to get there, though. Yeah. And it took me going to 2017 to actually, God helped me weed those people out. God did a big thing by going through that battle and stuff, because then after I had all the people that really wanted to support me, really wanted to be there, they were true. They, like I said, they never asked, for money and stuff, even though I know they need to get paid some way, somehow. So I still, I still work 9-to-5 jobs, things of that nature. There's nothing wrong with those. But I work all the way around so that one, we have more than 7 streams of income and stuff, so that one, I can help take care of some of their needs and stuff like that until we get to what we, the bigger rag and everything else. But it's never one of the ones whereas I want, my people going without and not knowing that I'm working twice or 10 times as hard as they're working. Obviously the students, they were still calling, their parents was calling. The students had to stay away some, so all their parents was calling me a lot, making sure, I was good, wasn't going. I was like, some had to come and hang out a little bit. I was like, some of my friends, because I was like 40 bottles in. I'm doing it, but I don't know. I'm losing my mind at this point in time. I'm on the news for something that I would never do. Period. I'm always been on the news for good stuff, tumbling and things of that nature, all that. Yeah, I'm on the news for something that, one, I did not do, and then two, they are labeling me as a monster right now. They went to everybody, the Broncos, which they threw my name under the bus and stuff. Olympic committee, which I never said I was part of the Olympics. They threw my name and said, we don't even know who this guy is, blah, 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 that whole 9 yards. They went to CU. They went to a few other places. They went to people's jobs. They went to people's homes, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all this over parents that didn't like where their daughters was. And how I knew this is because our last incident, their daughters was in the back 2 lines. We had 4 lines: seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen. Your daughter's a freshman and a sophomore. They don't fly yet. They don't have my back handspring yet. And they also got to pay their dues. Freshman and sophomore, it's all about my juniors and seniors. Don't get it twisted, it's also about my sophomores and sophomores and freshmen. But we still have lines. So you still have to stay where you need to be at. That was that. All my kids are treated the exact same, fairly and everything. At the same time, we knew that our seniors and juniors, especially because they were gonna stay around, everybody loved the way the program was going. So we had no issue, but I got outside issue. So why couldn't people put 2 and 2 together? I have no idea. I don't know. But we're just gonna let that go from where it goes.
What was that conversation like when they let you go? They just let you go.
Oh.
Yeah, take us through that.
It was they really didn't want to let me go. The principal and all, their hands are tied. Because this situation hasn't happened before. Which I go to say, I would create some of the first situations sometimes. Even when I was at CU, me tumbling across the field and doing what I was doing at the field and stuff like that, ESPN called him and NCAA called him and everything else because other people were trying it at their schools. They was getting hurt some. So they made me dumb down some stuff, etc. Because, so that brought me back to that time where I'm like, but this was different because you're not protecting me. After something that I didn't make, I didn't draw up these rules. I didn't come up with this. Your peoples do this. Y'all made this. Y'all taught this to me. what the situation was, I have no idea. So instead of them listening and actually doing more research and doing the actual homework, and again, this is not me bashing nobody and stuff. This is me giving out my own feelings. Like, you didn't do your job. Like, you threw me, like, it's like, well, at the same time that I forgot who the main person was. It was a black lady. She came in. She was over the entire thing, I guess, over them and stuff. She came in with both the AD and the principal and stuff. But as the AD and principal looking at me, they're like they're not in agreement and stuff. They're like, yo, we gotta let you go and stuff. I was like, even though, like, and they like, yo, they even said, like, even though, you know, we, you know, talk to people and this split stretch is not illegal, or, you know, things of that nature, or, you know, blah, 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 like, just the magnitude of it and everything else, we're gonna have to let you go. That's because they didn't know what they were doing. All they had to do was, one, follow the breadcrumbs. The girl was good. I had all the video. I gave them the video. They needed to sit down and they didn't look at it because they was already getting so much heat. And you gotta understand, they're getting heat and it's a political time frame right now. What is the heat actually for? And I was told that they want to do something else with the school, X, Y, and Z, stuff like that. What do you want me to do? I'm here trying to protect me. Why are you trying to protect your pockets and whatever hidden agenda y'all got going on? Protect me, let me go. I'm okay. I'm not gonna, let me do me. Like, let me go, but don't take my name because you have a hidden agenda and stuff. And you know this ain't cool. And this ain't right. So it took a lot away from me. It took a lot away from me, including my mom. It took a lot away from me. Nobody knew. Like, people like, I don't know how you gonna do something like this, X, Y, and Z. All I want you to retract your statement. Say, hey, yeah, this situation was good. She have a waiver form. She has a clearance card. We sign all documentation and waiver forms saying that if anything happens, you know, school takes care of things. I mean, we have athletic trainers and everything else around. It was about money. It then became about money. That's what they seen. They thought I had money. Like, I got a name.
Right.
That's what I want. Like, cause I want to be able to walk into a store like, hey, what's up? Oh, hey, how you doing? You know, like, hey. I mean, I pay for stuff at the same time. We like to get, you know, free stuff sometimes.
Your name is known in a whole bunch of other places other than Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know. Yeah, but at the same time, if I leave Denver, Colorado off of what just happened, one, that makes me look even more guilty. And then two, I'm tainted already. Stuff got to be fixed before I can just pick up and go wherever else I want to go. Like, and I got to fight the storm out.
It hasn't stopped people participating.
It has some. It has some.
In what way?
In ways that now, another reason why I'm putting this story out is so that, one, I never have to tell it again. Because I thought we was past this, but you still have some people that comment on my stuff about it, which I keep commenting, do what you need to do. It brings more people to my page, especially because you're wrong. But then two, it hinders my business some because people want to know about a situation, but they're timid about asking, or it's an uncomfortable situation and they don't want to ask, or they feel like they protecting their kids from a monster that's really not a monster. I'm very sensitive. I'm a Cancer. I'm a big baby sometimes. Like, I get upset at things that aren't transparent. Like, I love strawberry and everything else. Like, I love Disney Channel. I love candy. Like, put me in front of a kid, I'll show you how me and the kid will become best friends. You're gonna be upset though, because they're not gonna want to be around you no more. But I get to come back and then I get to go about my business. But this is my livelihood. This is my love. Like, these kids are what I do. So, like, you're technically trying to take away me, my career, like what I love doing. Not to mention, now you got me out here looking like a monster in front of all these ladies and everything else that, like, oh no, you like to harm kids and this and that. Get away from me. Like, So it's harmed me more than one way. You know what I mean? Like, which, okay, that's fine. I mean, if they're gonna label me, then go for it. Do you? But I'm gonna put this out here real fast so you understand that agenda, what they put out there, was not that. Like, you should have protected me more. You should have stayed and fought for me. Now I see you won't fight for me, but you see I'm gonna fight for myself and everybody else. And so like Drake said, I'll go 0 to 100 real quick. Like, I mean, I had to, but I also had to learn how to pull back and be a little bit more patient. It taught me a lot over these 6 years.
What is the biggest takeaway from this lesson?
I'll squat up even more, squat up deeper. Or you can't come for all of us. Or you can't come for all of us. Oh, this time, everything. My parents in on everything. My parents are some of my directors. My athletes and my team, they run the program even more. But they understand who's coming up with it. But then I understand I'm nothing without them. Because then, like, now they protect me. So now I don't need the systems and everybody to protect me. I didn't need them beforehand. I just thought they would. My people protect me. Those that are around me now, those that did not, and those that keep trying to, lead me in false directions and stuff like that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you because you're making me smarter. You're making me work harder. And by doing all that, like, I mean, listen, I'm not in jail. 2017 having most people end up in jail. There are people in jail now for things that they did not do. And I felt that. Like, it hit here.
You thought you were going.
Man, what? I've never been put in that position. And then the people I do see put in that position, it don't end well. It don't, especially for those that are trying to do great in the community. It don't end well. So what do you mean? Like, yeah, my life, like, I'm 40 bottles deep. My life is,
Who has the last
it's
word?
on. Oh yeah, we know who had to listen. That's all I can do.
Right? Everything else is just it's an obstacle.
And that's how.
Delay.
One, that's how I, that's how I know my God. My God's real. He's me. There's a higher power, and He's walking through me. You know what I mean? Thing is that now, like,
do you believe
yeah, I have.
that you had to learn. You had to.
Yeah, I did.
Go through.
It's things. These. It made everything that's about to happen and moving forward that much more sweeter, because I can say that I almost lost my life and fought to, come back.
Your life.
I fought to come back, like, because there was even friends that I called to count on. They like, yo, you need to find another career, homie. Like, don't let me see you around here, yada yada. So that's what. Okay. Like, okay. Yeah, you gonna say okay. I understand.
Okay.
I understand that I needed a. I was walking it, but I was also a little discombobulated with where the powers that be should be and stuff. And with being hit like this, God sent messages all the time, so He needed to show me a message. One, we're not made to be inside the system. We made to work with the system, but contracted out, and, by terms that we both agree on, because those terms do not support us. I have no animosity towards people, anybody. Like, I don't carry no grudges.
Okay.
It showed me a lot, and it also showed me a lot within my anger, because I was angry.
You have forgiveness?
I was upset. I wanted to hurt people. Especially when my mom passed. Everything that was already bottled up. I wanted to be that monster, but not towards kids or women. I wanted to lash out so bad. I had nobody to lash out to. Being angry almost consumed me. Oh man, I found out how angry I can be. but those in everybody in those situations and stuff, it just showed me how powerful I am at doing what I'm meant to do. So instead of, becoming another, black statistic at that, I changed that narrative. Being homeless was also what helped me change. I was sleeping on my car. It was the best time ever though. No bills, I only had my car note. I had Nikki Higgs and Ernest Higgs, and that family that, I them and a bunch of other people that allowed me to, navigate within the little dark times I was going through. And to be honest, that was my mom, because they all met my mom before, she passed and stuff. And that's basically what I needed. Not knowing I needed that. Lingering for other things. It just became, it became more empowering than I expected and thought. Especially because I got emotions. Oh my God, my emotions are more sensitive than ever right now. Talk about being a Cancer, boy. I'm in tune with everything now. To whereas, in the heat of the battle, most people say I wish this would go away and stuff like that, which I was, but it made me strong. It made me a lot stronger. It made me want even more. It made me not give up. It made me show that I'm destined for this. One of the, first black tumblers to do a lot of stuff, on top of other black tumblers and other tumblers out there doing things. But I winning college nationals at University of Louisville, Daytona, the band shell, like them giving me the opportunity, me also earning the opportunity to be on that bigger platform and going against some amazing competition. Using my fire to actually, be in that realm, no matter how much still race, class, politicking, all that stuff still plays against us. Like, you have to show up with skills. You can show up with your mouth all day long. You can show up and judge me all day long, but you judge these skills. Like, get with this. Like, I'm getting sponsors and doing things that you're supposed to have a manager to be able to do and stuff like that. I'm doing it myself. I'm learning how to do these things by myself. On top of having, obviously, a strong team and guardian angels as time started to, grow. And now I first to do double layout and grass at Daytona and stuff like that. People remind me of that. These accolades just happen. I'm just doing it because it's power. Like Guinness Book of World Record, most number back handsprings. I'm one of the longest tumbling OGs out here. Like, the list gonna keep going. Like Denver Broncos, like 3 years of that. Like Denver Nuggets, like
just empowered and just infused, man. With
and that's God. He was showing me like every single step of the way. Like, oh, don't give up on yourself. Yep, I know people giving up on you. Don't give up on you. Yeah, I didn't. I broke a little bit, but I didn't fall apart. I put myself,
the pieces
back together. Humpty Dumpty. Do some work. Read those nursery rhymes.
You talking about sponsorship and events and stuff. Tell me about some of the events that are happening right now. Who you working with? What we can expect from Coach O.
So going through all that and everything else. With my amazing team and everything else, we started to, like you said, put the pieces and everything back together. We started to climb the ladders again and everything. Once they were built, it was already, it's already one of those things where, putting the hard work, go ahead, throw them up there, climbing it, and also navigating who to work with and who not to work with and stuff. And so with that, I had to restart some things. I still had some friends and family that was still supporting my business so that I could still stay afloat here and there. Everything was behind the scenes. Nuggets was behind the scenes, making sure that, whenever, don't get it wrong, they still had to operate. They still got things they need to be doing, but they never forgot about me. You know, they didn't forget about little people. You know, people that are actually out here doing work. So they let me navigate how I needed to navigate. You know, get things out when I needed to and stuff. Also had some other amazing friends and ladies that became girlfriends and things of mine that actually helped me through the situation. Didn't think I would be dating ever again after that. Like, what was going on? Like, because you got to understand. Look what I was just put out as. They're powerful.
You would think they would be running the opposite direction.
You know what I mean? And some came through and they, helped, and I appreciate them all, everybody. And everybody's part of the story. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I definitely not doing this by myself, but I am the main character pushing this and making it happen and continue moving, because at any point in time I could give up, or I could have gave up and stuff. Like I said, Denver Nuggets, then I started working with some others. I went with Harlem Globetrotters. I went on tour with them 2018, 2019, which then I met a bunch of great people and everything out there. They helped me, not only fire myself a little bit more, but empower myself a lot more, because of how, not just praising my skills and everything else, but being a, team athlete, but also finally let me know how I can grow more. Like, people, like, as adults, like, we feel like we're helping be sensitive or respecting people's feelings by not telling them what we really think. That's hindering us. That's harming us. Like, we need to know if we rubbed you the wrong way. We need to know if, something I said, doesn't compute with you well, because if not, then that allows me to grow more and switch up a few things. Yeah. Okay, I know I need to say X, Y, and Z to that person. That's not me being, too sensitive to the fact. That's actually me being respectful and saying, hey, okay, I know how that person moves, but then also maybe I should switch over a little bit to this way to maneuver and do what needs to be done this way. And that's helped me a lot too, because I am a strong-minded being. Like being bullied and everything, so that's going to do some things to you. That's going to make you put up a wall that's like, somebody else test me again. Like, try one more time. Like, stop it.
You gotta take that extra step.
That too.
The extra protection, the extra layer of protection.
And try not to be labeled as an angry black man. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I gotta navigate on all this. So at the same time, help me. Tell me what's going on. Like, be true. If you don't want to work with me, tell me that. And that's where some also, we need to get over that. Like, I'm putting this message out powerfully. Like, start telling us. Because if you don't tell us, none of us can grow. And if we don't grow, then we're not helping nobody. We're not helping each other either, because we're just in the community allowing this person to be that, like, what they not assuming or not actually understanding that way, because we got to wear a lot of hats. There's a lot until we find those people that actually want to come in and, be a part of that growth and also build and grow their own stuff. So it's one of those things where it's like, we need to know. And so with that, we're working with other partners like, YEA, Youth Empowerment and stuff. It just started with them. In between that time, YEA is a big program that actually out in the community. They do a lot of community events. They show the support. They're in the schools, some which we were already doing and stuff. So partnering with a lot of people which that are doing the things that we've already done. Instead of reinventing the wheel, we work with them so that we can have a branch on our wheel, but we also enhance both branches to whereas we all win versus us taking something away from each other. Athletics and Beyond, which, we're in their facility right now. They've been like the Denver Nuggets. They've been very supportive with the time that we've actually been with them, especially during the process and the steps that I've had to take to be able to have facilities for my kiddos and stuff, because a lot of facilities shut us out because they see that situation and or I don't know, they just may not want to, work with me. Or they, see the growth. Like, we all grow up, I've been here from my, 23, 22. So I may have made some knucklehead mistakes, but nothing to whereas I can't come back from or I cannot apologize for, and we can move forward. So if that's the case, then that means you're looking at me a lot differently than what I'm than what I'm expecting respect level to be on. Like if I did something wrong, or I owe you money, which I don't, I pay everybody back that I need to, pay everybody that I need, especially when I was down and out. Like, I make it happen. Maybe one or two people I might be still paying back right now, but that's also only because we've just been growing. It's been the programs. It's in.
That's what you need. You need your own complex.
So to be honest with you, the facilities that I'm in now and partner with, which is Athletics and Beyond, Apex in Denver, as well as Cali CrossFit, which is all ladies workout gym and stuff. They allow our kids and all of us to go in there. We've been working with them on top of a few other partners that we're about to get ready to work with to actually set up this tumbling in different locations, so that one, it caters to all areas of the community and it's accessible and affordable, but also we actually build these programs to whereas we already have it, and we're actually, they all, on top of what I'm helping them in their gyms already for, they're going to take what a lot of their programs that they have inside of their facilities and help enter it into our facilities so that they also benefit from it as well. But also we cater to a whole different population and stuff. And we're not taking away from neither of the gyms. The gyms all, can work within their, frames and work that they're in. But our goal is to work with multiple other facilities and programs and stuff like that, so that we're a spark plug back into their businesses and stuff, versus they think we're coming to take away from their stuff. We're not. There's a lot of kids out here that want to do tumbling and things of that nature. That once they learn their body and stuff, they want to roll over to other sports, cheerleading, gymnastics, acro, football, basketball, boxing, like everything.
The diversity that I've seen in your videos with the youth participants.
Yeah, appreciate it.
White, black, all cultures, all that things, all genders. It's just okay.
Yeah, we need each other.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing they try to divert our attention from, is the fact that we need each other. Yeah. The only way we're gonna actually, be able to stand on our own and stand up is by working together, because we all cater to each other in some way, some form, somehow. So why not use that to actually also benefit everybody? Even though people have been trying to do this for a long time, they make it happen, based off of how much they believe in it and based off the errors they go into, et cetera, X, Y, and Z. And that's also one reason why I don't ask for much as help, is because the expectation of you owe me this, you owe me that, or I want this and I want that, it takes away from our kiddos. And it takes away from what our actual goals are, which is making sure our kids and our parents and everybody can actually make a living off of this and actually get back their investment and actually build a platform that one can pour back into the community more. We're not asking you to come. We're not asking you to give us anything. We'll come earn it. We'll come take it the right way. Which meaning we'll bring the skills. We'll bring the platform. We'll make your mouths drop. Like, where do you want my money to go? Like, hey, right here. You know what I mean? It's going for a good cause. And then actually going to that cause. And then actually showing that action. Because if we don't show those actions, then we just another program taking money and they don't know where it's going. So we don't want to do that. So I have all types of people in play to where they want to give money, they talk to them, not me. Because the money brings a whole different side to me that I don't want. Yeah, let them do that. But it's just a thing where it's I know what I'm here to do, and I know how much I can do. I just got to focus on one thing at a time, because I've done a lot of stuff. And so with that, like I said, YEA, working with Alex and them, we're working with we're working with, a bunch of other people to actually give back. We just got one of our big IT people and stuff. It's called Nova's Players Club and stuff. So that's our video game realm and all of that stuff. So podcast, 3D, all that, everything. We sitting down so that the kids can start getting their stories and things out right now, starting to build their stuff, their platforms and everything else. I'm just using what I have and what the company has to help catapult that a little more and use our, use our power that we have and stuff like that to also see how far we can go with it and see how much. Because
I've heard about some of the ideas that you have that we're not going to share. Because they haven't been copyrighted and patented yet. But some of those things that we talked about, man, is just like you are a true visionary, and the way you see this, taking this tumbling thing to higher levels, and elevating the sport.
I appreciate that.
So yeah, man, I'm excited to see those things that we talked about as you unfold. Pack those things coming down the line is exciting. So
yeah,
I'll definitely be supporting and following your journey, man.
I appreciate that.
I wish you nothing but abundance and prosperity. I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
This was the time.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The time. It was God's time. It was time for it to be told.
It is.
To be shared the way it's being shared. So.
And it's I appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate y'all all. Because it's a couple days away from my birthday. While I turn the big 35, you know what I mean? So that means I'm about to hit a whole nother. I'm about to hit that stack point. You know what I mean? It's like hitting 21. Oh,
having a tumbling party?
Nah. I mean, everything I do has been geared up towards this platform and making sure that this stuff happens. So I'll be able to, celebrate my birthday and everything a little later. I got people coming in from out of town for the event next week and stuff. But I appreciate you helping us get this out, because like you said, like, what is the big take we want everybody to take from this? To be honest with y'all, like, really the only thing I want them to do is share this video. Because it's more than just me that went through 2017. And the thing I want you to know about myself is that if you can, I don't want to say if you can kind of label me as anything, it's not what they label me as. I treat my kids and my female empowerment camp, oh man, as males, as great males do their own villages, as great women do their own villages and stuff, like I treat them with the utmost respect. I make sure I'm there protecting them. I make sure that if I can keep things from touching you, that's what I will do. And if it didn't show today that that's what I did in 2017, because like I said, I had people there. I didn't throw nobody under the bus. I didn't bring nobody with me. Took it on the chin, kept moving forward, because one, that's what God was whispering for me to do, and I would want to wish that on nobody. Like you don't understand the feeling with that. And thing is that my name is everything. I don't, like you said before, like I don't ask for money, I don't ask for things. I don't, because it all brings problems. It all brings turmoil and things that.
I'm gonna ask for it.
Listen,
for you.
Well, I appreciate that. But the thing is, my name.
How can they find your name?
They can find our social media accounts. They can. Okay. I mean, we're around. Type in Ozell Williams. Type in Mile High Tumblers 5280.com.
Okay.
Literally, if you want to give money, give it to the program. Give it to my program. Give it to my kiddos. Like we are elevating them. I'm I'm helping them, so I'm gonna get paid. I'm gonna get what we need to get. But I'm more for my kids and my program and stuff. My name, I just want you all to help my name. Put this out there, like, even though we already did the work, you know what I mean? So whether you like me or not, we're gonna continue moving, because that's what we are destined to do. We literally, walking the walk while we talking it, and we're really being true about it. It's different if I wasn't, or we not being, upfront and honest. We are, and that's what's frustrating. Is if you don't want to help out, step to the side, and just don't talk to me. But if you're gonna help, then understand who you're helping, what you're helping, and ask for what you actually want. And when we say you're not able to get that, or if we say you can have X, Y, and Z, understand it's because I thought about my entire village and not just me. Because if that, I could put this down, I could go do me all day long. I can keep my money. And just move on, be happy, and stay in the dark, away from people that probably get on certain other people's nerves and everything.
You showing up ready to serve.
Listen, I'm ministry through my tumbling. That's what we do. That's what we do. And so please, like, for my birthday, I want this to go viral. Like, if I ask for anything, I want this to go viral, because this is going to put my people back on. when they go in and they say they work with Ozell Williams or Mile High Tumblers and stuff, these people should be willing to sit down. What do you need? That's what we need. Listen, at the end of the day, we're going to have what we're going to have. It's going to become that sport. It's going to become in the schools. But you're talking to all of them, the whole 9 yards. I appreciate everybody. Listen, everybody that I'm working with, everybody that I'm a part of, understand I'm nowhere without you all. Just, you know, thinking in imagination, trying to be, you know, trying to be great and doing what I'm doing. I really appreciate it. Listen, this has been, it actually just opened up a lot.
This is the last question.
Yep.
What do you want your legacy to be?
That's a good question. Well, that's a good question. I want my legacy to be what I've been creating. I've been taking tumbling and it's been my forefront to be an entrepreneur and everything I'm doing. My legacy I want to leave with these kids and stuff. To whereas now my kids also, they have a stake in this company and stuff. So when I'm dead and gone, the company will still go because they now have control and they have a stake in it, which means that if you have stakes in something, you're going to cherish it that much more. You're going to appreciate it. You're going to want it to see elevate in that whole nine. So whatever it is, they are going to prosper from it. Because what we die, you know, what we die with, we can't take with us. So therefore, let me know that it's going to, you know, the higher powers that be that's helping me put it into different, you know, manifestations and stuff that is helping kids financially, that's helping kids, you know, with resources, that's helping kids actually take their brains and be like, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z. How can I get there? Well, here's the funds and here's the startup people to help you get things started, get things moving. And this is where, you know, you can get to with it and stuff. Like my goal is to have this in schools, take tumbling into PEs and everything, and whereas this is like NBA, NFL, NHL, to whereas we have scouts, we have, you know, people on the phone like negotiating contracts for their kids just to come tumble. We ain't talking about basketball, football, just to come tumble and stuff. Put it on that platform that then now that platform is gonna help open up a lot of other platforms because our kids gonna pay it forward. They gonna know what it's like to not have something and build up to it and stuff. They gonna understand what all that's like. If you wanna be part of a positive and great program, reach out to us.